Hi, Drinder here from Midland Property Investments, and I'll welcome you to another episode of Property Question Time. Today, I'm so lucky to have with me Glenn Delve. Now, Glenn Delve from the OCA Group. Now, Glenn, in 2014, was only a month away from personal bankruptcy.
Start of personal bankruptcy proceedings. Only a month away. So, since then, using commercial conversions, he's become the, I know you'd be quite bashful, the country's expert in commercial conversions, and currently he has over £100 million worth of projects in the pipeline. And welcome, Glenn. Thank you. Welcome.
So I've been trying to get Glenn for about Glenn for about a good few months here, but I know he's so busy, as well as work, giving back as well. He currently still is Progressive Properties main trader in commercial conversions. But I think probably until the end of the year that's no longer the case.
Yes, my last course is in September.
Okay, right. Okay, I tried to get on the June one, but it's got sold out. But we'll see what happens. Okay.
I'm sure they'll fit you in the window. You're special.
Thank you. I agree. Except my wife doesn't. Yeah. So. I just want to do a number of things. I've heard Glenn and Mark speak 3 times this year, and I'm still amazed with the strategy and the numbers. And each time I do hear him speak, I do always buy his book, this is called Commercial Conversions, Commercial Property Conversions, available on Amazon. I bought it 3 times, and I gifted it to 2 other people, and they're my business partners, because for me it's got massive information which can be used straight away. Okay. So Glenn, first time you so what made you, because you used to be, if you tell me a bit about your backstory, you used to be working at the RAF, is that right?
Yes, I worked in the RAF for 13 years, and I was a navigator, sat in the back of aircraft telling people where to go. Some people would argue I haven't really changed ever since, always sitting in the background telling people where to go. But I loved that, it was great fun, and I think I would have probably carried on doing that for a long time. But in the way it works in the Royal Air Force is you operate for a while, and then they want to promote you, and then the only thing you're flying is a desk after that.
Oh, I see, right, okay.
So that didn't appeal. I never wanted to be a staff officer, I only wanted to go and fly planes.
Okay.
And also there was some tragedy while I was in the Air Force, and one of our squadron aircraft went down, and my wife had to attend 7 funerals of people we knew.
Right.
So she said to me, well, if we're ever going to have a family, you're going to have to leave the Air Force, because I don't want to bring kids up on my own. So I was always destined to have to leave at some point. 1, because I didn't want to be a staff officer, and 2, because we were going to have a family. So I left when I was about 31 years old.
Okay, all right, okay.
And then after that, what did I do? I ran a golf business for a while. I ran a golf franchise. So I guess I'd already started learning about business then. I knew I had to follow a model that somebody else had already proven.
Okay.
So I went and ran a franchise. It was a golf retail franchise.
How did that go?
Well, I learned not to get into retail.
Okay, right.
And retail is tight margins, very heavy on time, and there's no real exit. There's no big exit from retail.
Right, okay.
So I tried to buy the national franchise, because that was the only way I could build it into a meaningful business.
Oh, quite scary. So could you potentially quite.
So I also learned about corporate financing, because we found a backer to back our bid to buy it, but in the end we couldn't get the bid accepted.
Right.
So I decided to get out of retail. I was headhunted to go and run a cricket ground called the Rose Bowl. Okay,
just because I've heard you speak a number of times. You know, Rose Bowl. Is there also one in India called the Rose Bowl?
No, I don't know if there's one in India called, but there is one in Pasadena.
There's
one in America called the Rose Bowl,
right.
But that's actually, I think, an American football ground.
Oh, see, because I'm sure there's a cricket ground. There's a massive cricket ground in India. But anyway, okay, sorry, it's just taking you apart. Okay, yeah. And then, how did that go?
It was an amazing experience. Very, very long hours overseeing a £50 million project to redevelop the Rose Bowl. We were building a 5-star hotel with 178 rooms, half of which overlooked the pitch, turned into hospitality box on big match day, or TV studios or radio commentary boxes. big conference centre in the hotel, spa, and a golf clubhouse for the 18-hole golf course we also built. And then we built 2 spectator stands with about 9,000 seats, corporate hospitality, catering facilities, toilet facilities at the other end of the ground. So overall, the project was 50 million.
Okay, so the question I had, what intrigued me was that how did you get headhunting? And it must have been out of your comfort zone to do that.
Basically what happened was...
And what skills could you bring from your army?
Well, the way the headhunting worked is I ran 2 of the largest golf retailers in the area, and the Rose Bowl had some land, and at the time they were thinking of building a golf driving range.
Okay.
And there was a trend at the time for golf stores like ours to move on to golf driving ranges, big golf driving ranges, because it gave us footfall. Yeah. A passing trade, if you like. So when I heard them announce they had plans to build a 2-tier 60-bay driving range, I thought that would be a great place to move our business to. So I approached them and said, could I move my business onto the range? And they said, well, you might be able to help us actually, because we don't have anyone within the company that knows anything about golf or golf ranges. Okay. Do you mind having a quick look at our business plan? And I said, well, I'm more than happy to have a look at the business plan as long as I get the rights to be the retailer at the end of it. Okay. So they said, that's fine. So I had a look at their business plan, and I remember there being 5 fundamental flaws in their business plan. Right. So I said, well, actually, I think you've got some issues in your business plan. They said, well, are they? And I told them the 5 issues, and they went, wow, would you mind coming and presenting that to our board? Right, okay. So I said, okay, that's fine. So I went and presented to their board, and the board accepted they did have some issues. Okay. And they said, look, would you come and consult for us? Okay. And I said, well, it's not really one I'm in the market for, but as long as it means that I have at least the retail operation, okay, and possibly even that you divest your whole golf operation to me, then I'll come and consult for you. Oh wow, okay. So that was the agreement, that they would give me at least access to the retail, possibly divest the whole golf operation to me, but that I would do some consulting for them. Okay. So the consulting ended up looking like redoing the business plan, fixing all the fundamental flaws, and then going out to the market to raise all the funds to get it built. And I can't remember how long I was there doing that. I think I was there for, I don't know, I think I want to say about 7 or 8 months. Okay. Mm-hmm. And what I didn't realise at the time is that my office was next door to the chairman, and I didn't realise that was deliberate. I just thought it was the only office left. Okay, right. And it transpired that later on, that was quite deliberate, because the chairman had met me, saw me presenting to the board, right, and wondered whether I could be his new managing director. Wow. So he basically gave me a 7-month working interview. Okay, right. So he sat in his office listening to me on the phone, watching me as I kind of had meetings. Right. And in the end, we decided not to build a golf driving range, but he then approached me and said, but would you run my company for me? Wow, okay. And so I thought, do I want to be a glorified shopkeeper, or do I want to run this venue of note? Right. It's regionally significant. Right. And I thought, regionally significant business person or glorified shopkeeper. Struggling. So, and the golf industry was also hard work. Right. And I saw more opportunity with the cricket ground. Okay. So I went and ran the cricket ground. Right. Okay. Wow. Okay. So again, so obviously you had your security, the good security of the RAF, did something else, didn't quite work out, but then you got this job, which on paper sounds quite good. It's always hard work. So when did you decide to leave, or something happened to go into property? I think I became aware of property so what happened is I went to run the cricket ground, and then we came up with a strategic review. So we got KPMG in to review all the opportunities available for the Rose Bowl, because we had about 150 acres. Okay, wow. And KPMG came up with a couple of ideas, one of which included the golf course and one included the new hotel. Right, okay. So we came up with a strategic plan that was going to cost somewhere between 35 and 50 million. We didn't know how much at the time. Okay. And decided to go ahead with that, and then launched it to the world and told everybody that's what we were going to do. Right. So I was kind of carrying through this amazing plan for building this hotel and spectator stands and the golf course. And during that time there, I learned two very, very important lessons.
Yeah.
I learned that you don't need your own money when you're running businesses.
Yeah.
Because the £50 million, when we got planning for that development, it was 2008, and as everybody knows, the world in 2008 had gone down the toilet.
Yeah.
There was no money being lent anywhere, especially for a speculative development of a cricket ground costing 50 million in Hampshire.
Wow, yeah. So that's nothing to do with the Hampshire Cricket Club, is it?
Yeah. Hampshire play there. Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So the banks weren't lending, nobody was lending, and actually what I found was that the local authority invested because it solved all their problems.
Right, yeah.
So the first thing I learned was, in business, you don't need your own money. There's always investors, but if an investor is going to invest with you, it's because you solve their problem, not because they solve yours.
Okay, yeah.
That was a massively important lesson. Always solve the investor's problem.
Right.
And then the second thing I learned was that I didn't know anything about building.
Yeah.
And yet we were building spectator stands, a 5-star spa hotel, with conferencing, with banqueting, with media facilities, with hospitality. I didn't know anything about any of this stuff. But what I found out was you could hire all this stuff in.
Yeah.
And that was like a big light bulb moment for me. And at some point in that process, I became really interested in the property wider thing, and started getting planning to build a house next to my house in the garden, a bit of garden grabbing, as they call it. Okay. And then I started just getting to know some people that were dabbling in property and thinking, oh, well, I'll try and work with them.
Can you say that year was about 2013, something like that?
No, we're going back further.
Okay.
I first came across Progressive in around about 2007.
Oh, wow.
But even before Progressive, I remember a guy called, what was his first name? Something Shaw. And he wrote a book, something like Money for Nothing and Your Property for Free.
Oh, I think that rings a bell, but I heard the song. But
the funny thing is, he went bust in the recession.
Okay.
So I was obviously reading that before the recession, because he went bust in the recession.
Right.
But something in that book led me to start thinking something about property. Okay. And then I did what most people do. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki.
Yes, I got that. Yeah.
Then I started coming across Progressive. Okay. So it was quite a long journey for me. I was quite interested in a lot of this stuff for a long time. Right,
okay.
And but then it was kind of like the magic ingredient, the kind of magic sauce was you don't need your own money and you can hire all the expertise you need.
Right, because that's all. I think most people, because they think I can't do that. I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
But listening to you speak and reading your book, it gives people confidence that you can do it. Yeah. And okay, can I just let people know what we're doing? We're in Birmingham right now at the Clayton Hotel with the Birmingham MSOPI. Now, that's Progressive Properties sort of, I won't say flagship, but it's their main event where they introduce Progressive to new investors. Yeah. So we're in Birmingham, and Glenn did a talk today, and kindly, I know he's got a lot of people waiting to speak to him, took time out to give me an interview. Okay. So now Rob Moore is my mentor. He's actually more of a business mentor, as a property mentor. How did you meet Rob Moore? And
well, I've been tracking the Progressive guys for a while.
Yeah.
And then, like many of us, I signed up for VIP.
Right. Okay.
I think this might get quite noisy.
He's going to I think I have to go with it. Yeah. It's a risk we have to take. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll try and make sure I speak up.
Yeah.
So.
See you later.
Yeah.
Do you want to keep going?
Yeah, okay, go. Yeah. That's the way it goes. I want to hear you speak.
Okay. Where were we?
Yeah. So you met Rob, because he's quite charismatic. And I love Rob.
Yeah. So I read a number of their books. Like many people, I signed up for VIP.
Okay. Right.
And first time I signed up for VIP, I did absolutely nothing with it.
Right.
I didn't turn up. So
Why is that?
Well, life got in the way. I was running the Rose Bowl.
Right.
I was very busy. I was also a bit arrogant.
Right.
I needed a mindset shift, which I didn't have.
Yeah.
So I let life get in the way.
Okay.
And I think, you know, that's a big thing for many of us. We let life get in the way.
And it does it. People, families, got businesses, jobs and things like that, you know, okay.
So I let life get in the way. I didn't turn up. When I did turn up, I turned up with a bad attitude because I wanted to fix my problem, not serve other people.
Okay.
And then in the end, I thought, you know, this is not really getting me anywhere, so I left.
Oh, okay.
So the first time I did VIP, I got absolutely nothing out of it.
Right, okay.
Then what happened is, a couple of things after that. I read Secrets of a Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker, an amazing book. Really taught me about my money mindset issues. And I also had a bit of a mindset shift in that I realised I wasn't here to solve my own problems, I was here to solve other people's problems.
Right, okay.
And if you solve enough of other people's problems, Devinder,
you're going to get rich,
you get by adding value to other people. The more value we add to the world finds a way of paying us back.
Right, okay,
As soon as I started focusing on solving other people's problems, life got easier.
Right, okay.
And in the end, I found the commercial conversion strategy was solving other people's problems, and people started lending me money.
Wow, okay.
And I was actually offered £10 million in less than a year. I mean, 10 million rolls off the tongue, but it's amazing. And I was so frightened that I got back in touch with Progressive. I went back on VIP, but this time I went on Rob and Mark VIP because I thought I need some help and advice. And I think that's the other thing. We've got to stay humble to the process.
Right,
you know, just because people lent me 10 million didn't mean that I was a finished article.
I think it also doesn't it sort of increase your sense of responsibility as well. When you give them £10 million, it's a lot of responsibility. Oh wow, okay.
So I went to see Rob and Mark. I then ended up doing VIP for another 2 years with Rob and Mark.
Right.
And like you said, they were mentors to me in a number of ways. Business mentors, mentors in how to use JV funds, and also commercial conversions, because Mark obviously is doing commercial conversions. But also
co-author, buddy.
Co-authored a book with him. Who knew? I had no idea. So there was all of that going on, but then in the end they asked me to become their commercial conversion trainer, and a lot of the mentoring was about how to set up a training business and how to run a training business properly.
So can we, some of these numbers that are straggling, the first number was that £10 million in the first 12 months. And since that time, can you share with the audience how much have you raised in JV Finance?
No idea.
Oh, is it more than 50, 100 million, or is it literally lost count?
Well, I consider bank funding JV Finance in a way as well.
Of course,
that's not in the initial 10 million, but
because you need equity funding.
Equity funding. It's got to be.
It's putting the spotlight in it,
It's got to be 30 million.
Wow. Okay. Right. Okay.
I guess.
I suppose when the ball's rolling, then development finance can be easier to see.
Yeah. I mean, once you've got track record and credibility, investors. Here's a good example.
Right.
One of our first investors invested in our first deal. And he invested, I think, about £200,000.
Okay.
That investor has never stopped dealing with us on various deals, and he now invests up to 5 million with us.
Wow. Okay.
So I think that's a really good example of when you build up credibility, when you build up track record, people who know you, trust you, they're very willing to lend bigger and bigger sums of money.
And also, they're probably going to tell their friends maybe as well?
Yeah. Absolutely. And the thing is, each of the deals we do now has equity values in there of between 1.5 and 3.5 million. Okay, right. So that gives you an idea roughly what an equity investment into one of our deals is now. Okay. And therefore, if you've got a pipeline of 5 to 6 deals a year, which means these deals tend to take 2 years, we have around about 10 to 12 deals on the go at any time. Wow, okay. As we go forward, all the time, we will have roughly 25 to 30 million of equity rolling in our pipeline. Okay, right. Can I ask you a question more of, because I invest in other people's projects and also be looking to investors for my projects as well. Can I ask you, what kind of returns do you give your equity investors generally? Well, again, it's changed. So when we started out, and I think this is really important, when you start out, you are solving the investor's problem, not your own.
Okay.
So it's all about the return you offer the investors. And if you are starting out, you're more of a risk.
Yes, of course, yeah.
Because you've got no track record, you might be using a new system.
Yeah.
And therefore, you have to be really generous to your investor.
Right.
So when we started out by giving 50% of the profit.
Of the profit, okay, yeah.
We got to the point where on some deals we gave 65% of the profit.
Is that okay? Right. Okay.
And on some of the deals, it turned out to be an annualized return of over 35% annualized,
right.
which is a big number.
Yeah.
But then, as you become more established, as you become more credible, you become a lower risk.
And you de-risk.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Your system is more established. Your contacts are more established. Your team is more established. Everything becomes more cookie cutter.
Yeah.
And therefore, what we've been able to do is drive our investors down. Not in a horrible way, but we have investors offering us money at better and better returns.
Yeah.
So typically now, we borrow money at a fixed rate of around about 15 to 18% per annum.
All right.
So it's 15 to 18% annualized.
Right. And the rest, you can development finance.
And the rest is development finance.
Okay. So, what's next for OSEA Group and you and OSEA Group? What's your plans then?
Well, we're now at a stage where we like the space we're operating in. So we're buying really opportunities where the purchase price is 3 to 8 million.
Okay, that's PB, okay, right.
GDV will be somewhere between 13 to 20 million.
Oh wow, okay.
And that earns us a very good return.
Okay.
So we've decided we don't want to get any bigger. We're going to do 4 to 6 deals of that size per annum.
Right.
Usually that means that there's no more than 100 apartments in the deal.
Okay.
So our sweet spot would be somewhere around 50 to 80 apartments.
Right. Okay. Right.
And we want to just buy 4 to 6 of those a year and keep rolling them through. That's what we do. But prior approval, conversion of offices, which is what we do. So it's very important we talk about the fact commercial conversions can be anything.
Of course, yeah.
Commercial property is obviously anything that's not residential, and a conversion is just turning it to residential. Our specific niche is we buy offices and only offices, and we turn them into what we would call micro apartments, generally speaking. Now, that for us is a very specific niche. We have developed that niche to the point we're at now. That relies on 2 things not changing. Right. Prior approval has to be around.
Okay, yeah.
And because we sell everything, we quite heavily rely on Help to Buy, the government Help to Buy scheme.
Right, okay.
So if either of those things changed, our model would be affected.
Right.
So the other thing we're now beginning to do is look at house building, but we won't buy anything that is at risk of planning.
Right.
So it has to be a pre-consented site, but we want to diversify into some house building because we're always going to need houses.
Okay, right.
So to give OSEA Group protection and longevity, we also want to move into some house builds.
Okay, and Glenn, I'm not reading for your book, you operate in a very specific area, geographical area of England as well.
Well, it's become less specific.
Is it? Oh, right, okay, right.
We now operate, we would call our corridor basically the south of England. So if you took the M4 corridor from Bristol all the way across, past London to Essex, anything south of that.
Oh, that is a long corridor.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
So we got one in Basildon.
Wow, okay.
In Essex.
Right, okay.
But one in Nailsea near Bristol.
Okay.
And lots in between.
Oh, right, okay, brilliant, okay, yeah. So what are you